Hi everyone, this is Ev Zervadakis and I'm with Holistic Healing Astrology. So today I want to talk about Mercury Retrograde myths and facts. Just a short video. It kind of makes me a little crazy when I hear all this fear factor about Mercury Retrograde. Mercury spins around, hey Kosti, how are you? Mercury spins around about 4 times a year. So we get a Mercury retrograde 4 times a year. And what the big hype is that, oh, you can't sign papers, you can't do anything Mercury, like communication, anything like that, when there's a retrograde, because it's all going to have to be redone. Well, that's not true. I mean, 3 weeks times 4, that's 12 weeks. We can't sign contracts. Supposing you need to sign contracts with your profession. You know, that just doesn't make any sense. Also, it has to do with travel. It has to do with computers because it's communication. Hi, Irene, how are you? So these ideas that when Mercury's retrograde, all hell breaks loose and nothing gets done right is not 100% true. Now, if you look at your chart and you have a Mercury retrograde, as I do, that means it's a great time for you because, oh, nice heart. So it's great that you have the Mercury retrograde. You were born with it. So every time there's a Mercury retrograde, that's where you shine. I mean, you're very comfortable with that. So it's not a problem for you. It's always a little more complicated. You know, it's like trying to take this coronavirus and make it into a simple, yeah, we're just going to lock everybody up and it's going to go away. That's not how things work. When you try to make something very simplistic, hi Donna, how are you? You get into trouble. So this video is about what does Mercury do? What's the meaning of Mercury? Mercury has to do with all sorts of communication, and it also has to do with the mind, how you think, and how you process data. So when it also has to do with brothers and sisters, siblings, and so anything that has to do with communication, mail, letters, contracts, how we speak, when you watch something on television, that's all the news, that's all communication. So Mercury is that, and it's very clever, quick. I know there's 2 of you there that are watching that are Geminis, and you're ruled by Mercury. So they're very, I believe it's right brain, so they're smart, they know how to process. So back to the Mercury retrograde. Retrograde means that it appears to be going backwards. The planet is moving backwards. It's all very high-tech, astronomical cycling of the planets. And I'm not going to bore you with that, but it's this energy of it moving backwards. So what does that mean? It means that it's a time to reflect. All the RE words. Reflect. You can maybe you have to redo it, rethink, reevaluate. That's what the retrograde is all about. And we also have, I told you before, 5 other planets that are retrograde. The slower moving ones like Pluto and Jupiter. It's just a real interesting time right now. So Mercury retrograde can be a really good thing. It could also be when your car breaks down. But honestly, last week I had 3 or 4 things happen that you couldn't say, oh, that was a Mercury retrograde. Was it a retrograde? No, it was stationing. What does that mean? Well, before something could change directions, because you're moving forward, it can't just go backwards. It has to stop that direction and then slow it down and then go backwards. So, but even with the stationing, it's a tricky period. And sometimes it's good to redo something because, you know, if you do something important, you want to rethink it, you want to reevaluate it. And that's basically the importance of a Mercury retrograde. It happens 4 times a year. Life goes on. 4 times a year when it goes retrograde, it's time to just, reconsider, reevaluate, and move forward when it goes direct. So it's a time to kind of take a break from all this thinking. Sometimes we overthink, and it's a time to reflect and kind of go within. A great time to journal. If you don't journal, it's a great idea to journal, especially now during these historic moments in time, because too much is happening right now. So that's my little talk about Mercury retrograde. I hope I answered these questions that people had. Don't drive a car, don't buy a house, don't sell a house, all these don'ts. And whenever there's a fear spin on a Mercury retrograde, just remember there's free will. And with astrology charts, when I read an astrology chart, hey Bobby, how you doing? When you do the astrology chart, I always look at where the planets are, because planets are all energies and they vibrate just like a string instrument or any instrument. It's a vibration that makes the sound, and depending on where the planet is will depend on how loud the energy is or how loud the sound is. So Mercury retrograde has had a very bad rap, but like I said, if you're born with a Mercury retrograde and you don't know your astrology, you don't know your chart, you never had it down. Hi Maria. So that's probably Nick, but anyhow, maybe Maria's watching from above. But hi Poppy, Ganis. So when you do your astrology chart, that will show you if you are in a Mercury retrograde and where your sun is, where your moon is, and it really does tell a lot. And my clients that do the astrology, they're just so blown away at all the information, and we can't get it all done in one sitting. So I always include a pre-session and a post-session with the astrology. So you could always reach out to me, give me a shout, and I could do your astrology reading. It's a very powerful tool for your future, and it just gives you a way to look within. So what I'm going to do is tune out, and my company name is Holistic Healing Astrology, because I help people heal, and I also do intuitive work as well. And if you know anybody that needs a reading, I appreciate any business or referrals. That's how I survive nowadays, and it's a very rewarding profession. And I'm gonna end this video, and then I'm gonna jump back on because I have to do a few more videos. I need to talk about the things coming up. We have the new moon coming up, which is extremely important. It's going to be in Libra. And we also have the stellium that's out there, and all the stuff leading up to the election. We have a very, very, very intense month. There's some positions here with the stellium that have not been seen since the 1500s, believe it or not. So I am going to finish, and I thank you. You have a wonderful day. God bless.